Hey, Tom.
Wayne, another episode.
Another year has passed me by.
No, but another trade deadline in the NHL has passed us by.
Yeah. We sit there every Monday in late February.
At myself and cry.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it. So,
what kind of team is this?
Because for those of you, that's an old B-side song from Styx in the 70s.
You used to sing it mostly on New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, when we had no dates, no women, just bottles of booze.
Yep. Those were the good old days.
The good old days. You like that? No women?
No, the women part wasn't good, but the booze was good. Medicinally.
Yeah. So the trade deadline. Listen. I think he went middle of the road. I think Simmons comes in. Fifth round draft choice. That's nothing. And maybe he gets a couple tips in front of the net. Maybe when they knock Johansson silly with an elbow on the boards, a Simmons comes out there the next shift and beats 11 snot out of somebody.
Maybe
we don't know. On that point, before we get to Kahunaville, the Pittsburgh just taking liberties on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's always sweet beating them, but the Crosby was cross-checking everybody. Malkin's stick was up above his waist the whole game, and I blame the Sabres, because when is someone gonna? That's my career. You take out if you hurt me.
Yeah.
When is someone to ram that pussy?
I know. I can't stomach.
And it happened a few years ago when he hit O'Reilly in the love area there. Remember, he was hunched over. Yeah. And later in overtime, O'Reilly had a chance to bury him and didn't.
I know.
And he scored the game winner. I know when someone's going to knock this guy down.
I know.
And this Malkin, and you never get the call in Schittsburg. You just aren't going to get the call.
Well, the other thing is knock him down. If half the bench empties, then be a man and start. Let's all match up. Because I'm tired of that little faggot going around with a stick.
No, he really was cross-checking, and not the phantom cross-check McCabe got called for against Otto.
Yeah.
I'm talking, he was really drilling some people, and no calls, but that's Schittsburg, and whatever.
So glad to beat them. And we'll talk about Kahunaville here, but let's just start with the fairly obvious. I hope to you guys that are listening is that this is a mighty crawl to the playoffs. You're down 6 points. That sounds really juicy. You got 20 left, but you got to jump over 3 teams. That means 3 teams have to stumble. That is hard to do. And you probably have to win 14 or 15 games out of 20 while going out to the West and playing 4 really good teams. So, quite frankly, I don't think it's happening, and I think it's the heroic run of 80 again.
Yeah.
But Kahunaville, what I like about this kid is, he's German. Morlock's a German name. So
actually Czech, I believe, isn't he?
Well, he's Czech, but he moved to Germany, so he's kind of a favorite.
So he moved. Okay.
Yes.
Where's his mailing address, though?
Czech, I think.
It is
Czech.
Czech.
So he's not really German. Okay. He got me there. So he did join the SS, he played in Germany, and the kid has scored over a half a point a game in his first 2 years as an undrafted player.
Right.
I think that's pretty damn good. Now, I haven't seen him. I just looked at stats. From what I read, he's a really good passer, and I was looking at a chart this morning showing his passing skills are just way off the charts, even with Pittsburgh and Chicago. He was up there with Taves and everybody.
Definitely a skilled player. Why Pittsburgh made that trade, I don't know.
Yeah, he's a restricted free agent. Maybe they got going to have some money problems. I don't know.
That could be. I mean, they're getting back Sherry, who's going to be up, and Rodriguez, who's also restricted.
Yep.
Rodriguez was a good player here for us last year with a lot of potential and stuff. I thought, not as a top 6, but obviously in the crowded bottom 6, but just fell out of favor with this coach. And
very crowded.
Maybe it's something that helps him and this kid.
And helps us both.
Pick out. Yeah,
and I'm fine with that. And I was not a Sherry fan, so I'm good with all that. I think that get this kid in a position and maybe make some passes with a Jeff Skinner, because Skinner, we all know he needs to get set up. And
scary.
I think he'll do fine.
It's very disappointing with the Skinner story. We've gone over it. No use rehashing it here.
Right.
Something about his game Kruger just doesn't like. And Kruger's a Euro guy. He likes his Europeans.
Kind of where he's been hanging out the last 10 years.
Yeah, and we'll just have to wait and see. I'm disappointed with the team. I'm going to watch. I'm going to, hopefully they win. My kids, my family loves the team.
Yep.
I'm just disappointed with them, and I kind of see a rudderless ship here. But I'm still a fan. Whatever, we'll see. The trade. I wanted us to get a better center. I know Superstar wasn't available, but sources are saying that Risto was on the table for Florida for that kid from Pittsburgh. Trocheck, that wasn't made. And the Josh Anderson, that would have been a great acquisition.
From Columbus.
Apparently that fell apart too. So maybe that sets the tone for something later on. But we're always waiting for later on. We're always waiting for the troops to come home, and we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm disappointed too. Look, first of all, let me just say I absolutely love the weekend. I mean, to go and beat them in Schittsburg was great, and then come back and beat a really good team 2-1 in a dogfight. Loved it. But then I look at the schedule, and even when they come back from the West Coast, this is a nasty schedule.
Well, and this team isn't that far off. I mean, they play well, but they're not good enough, and I just don't know if Botterill gets that yet.
So you can, when a team's not talented enough, you can go into a game in a weekend series and pull out a couple games.
Right.
But over the long haul, talent's going to win out.
Right.
And when you go out to Colorado and you play Vegas there, you're gonna. They've got better talent, and it's tough to continue to win those games.
I don't know if anybody watched his press conference, Botterill's yesterday. I have really no idea what he talks so fast.
Can I?
Sure.
Yeah, it's Botterill.
Botterill. He talks so fast in little margins, and I think what he's trying to say is like games like Ottawa. You can't let games like that slip away.
Well, that one was on Hutton. That was a disgrace. But anyway,
the catchphrase is group. And this group and stuff.
This group and this team.
He told us
Kumbaya a lot, I heard.
He told us last summer that it was going to be this open camp. Once you start throwing out the guaranteed one-way contracts, you can throw out the open camp. Yeah. And I guess we'll wait and see. We're going to have some cap room. Not putting that off. We still have the season here. I love watching Jack Eichel, Rasmus Dahlin, Reinhardt.
Yeah.
I'm a big Skinner fan.
He'll come around.
We got some really nice players on the team.
God, we really do.
And we got some...
Fill in a little bit in that bottom six. Well, no, I'm sorry, the middle six, I should say.
And we got some. Rochester doesn't really have any. We got Middlestead there. I haven't given up on him. No. And Cousins, I think, will be in Rochester next year. But there are some things, but we're still lacking that number 2 center. The Ryan O'Reilly trade, it's just going to be a long time to get rid of that taste.
Yeah, that not only get rid of the taste, but to overcome it with our team. And, you look at... let's talk about the fourth line. Everybody who listens to us probably thinks we hate that line. Larson, Gergensons, and Oposo, but we don't. What we like, they are a good fourth line. There's no question about it. But when your talent is so sparse in the middle six that you got to play them 16 minutes a game, that's insane, is what we're saying. But if you get some talent in here, I have no problem with Larson, Gergensons, and Oposo. I just don't want 37 of them.
Log line.
Yeah, the log, thank you. I don't want 37 of them.
The answer is today's Tuesday, bottom left there, little thing, Sabre Statistics, it's right there. Time in the game. Yeah. Now, we just brought in Kahuna. He's playing about 13 minutes a game at 27 points. Right. The log line's playing 16 minutes a game.
With like 12, 13 points. Yeah.
And that has to get better. Yeah. And either that or the other two lines have to get better. So then less time for that.
And that's exactly what needs to happen. So because the log line has shown that they're a really good fourth line, but you can still hold guns to their mom's head. They're not scoring a lot. So what you do is you reduce their time. You get some real talent in the middle six. Maybe this Kahuna's one of them. Who knows? And now you drop them to 11 minutes. I think you got something. That goes back to the 06-07 Sabres. That's what you had.
Right.
Roll 4 lines, but the fourth line did not play 16 minutes.
The third line in those days was Afinogenov, Derek Roy, and Stafford or Vanek.
Yeah, which is incredible.
Yeah, and that's when you got some. Hey, listen, we don't want to miss Wally. Yeah. On our last show, we talked about the coronavirus and stuff.
Yeah.
Wally, I guess, took offense and sent us.
Wally was pissed.
Yeah. He sent us a nice note, and it was sloth burgers, and he said, when cooked right, it's delicious. I couldn't eat it.
I won't eat it.
And your dog even stuck up his nose and said he wouldn't eat eat it. So
No.
sorry, Wally. But,
Sorry, Wally, but that went straight in the trash.
There are certain foods that aren't
By
meant
the
to
way,
be eaten.
we went in the trash, triple bag, and then surrounded in aluminum foil.
I mean-
because we're not getting that damn virus.
The rats didn't even go near the garbage can. So I know he took offense, and
too bad.
Aardvark, he said aardvark coal when with the proper sauces. No, I'm sorry, that wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, the sloth burger though, no, not happening. So that was a little bit of the Sabres talk, and again, love to see him make the playoffs. But really, the statistics and the naked eye watching this team, they're not going to make the playoffs, unfortunately.
No, it's not. Probably not going to happen.
I would love to go to a playoff game.
Well, let's see some hope, see the guys play well, and go from there, right? Football, I know they're talking 17-game season. I say
You say down?
down with it, and
I do want to expand the playoffs by one.
that's fine, but we don't need a 17th game. And stop with this Euro stuff. Look what's happening abroad.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm not going to London to play. I'm not going to Von Flocknahan,
When the
Germany.
Bills go down to Mexico City to play the Giants, and half our team comes down with some new disease because they're eating Newt down there. No, let's just keep the thing here.
Yeah.
And they got satellite TV. They can watch it if they want over there and stuff. And so no, down with the 17 playoffs. Fine, 17. No.
And for those of you who think that God help us all, and it's too bad about the coronavirus. Well, our market's down 5.5% now in 2 days. So their culture and eating like raw sewage actually does affect me and my 401k.
But
and others.
Ak will tell you that only the rich benefits from that.
Oh, yeah?
Yet we're not rich, and my wife's retirement plan is taking a crapper too. So Ak is wrong, but then again,
we do have time to come back. Don't worry about that. But
Funny-
God, my T-shirt's showing. It's horrible.
funny note in this paper yesterday, Omar, one of our squad,
Let's talk
married
about
a
it.
brother.
Yes, Omar, Ilihana Omar.
Married her brother.
Married her brother in 2011 to get in the United States. Isn't that interesting? And finally,
Oh no, she did.
no, she did. Yeah, she did. And by the way, stayed married to him for 6 years before divorcing him. Now, was there marital relations? Was it incest?
Where does that come about in the Sharia law?
I don't know. But I will say this: how do you become a congresswoman when you married your brother to get in the United States?
Well, you have to ask some of them people down there in West Virginia.
Oh yeah,
Well, I'm sure we got a bit of that down there.
No, she was not. She is in Minnesota.
Right, but I'm sure some of our West Virginia
Well,
brothers and sisters
probably
might
true.
find that third line down. I didn't know.
But they're toothless.
Brother from the same mother.
But anyway, what a disgrace. What
By the
a
way,
disgrace.
debate tonight. If you want to have some fun, Bernie Sanders. He wants to set up our country similar to Fidel Castro in Cuba. People were swimming through shark-infested waters to get away.
To get to Miami.
I saw something today where Sanders in '85 was doing. Who votes for this guy?
So let's talk about this. He's on with Anderson Cooper. We're going to leave it at that because I have some thoughts on him. But he's on with Anderson Cooper on 60 Minutes. Talks about how Castro got in and brought the brethren literacy and free health care. And then a stunned Anderson Cooper, who's a big liberal, looks at him and goes, but he's a murdering dictator. Well, yeah, I didn't like that part of it.
That part won't happen with Bernie.
Yeah. Then he says, this is a great one. They talk about the free health care, right? And he says 30 trillion over 10 years. Okay, and then he yells back about Trump. Well, he spent $1 trillion on the corporate tax code breaks. That's $1 trillion, Bernie. You need 29 more. Okay? Now, then, by the way, if anybody would just take a pen and paper, there's not 30 trillion among the billionaires that live here. Okay?
No.
We're just going to be printing paper. Now, the next thing is, they say, well, you want to give free tuition and free student loan forgiveness. To which Anderson Cooper goes, so what is the price tag on that, Bernie? He goes, well, I ain't going to talk nickels and dimes here. I don't know.
Because it's not nickels and dimes.
Yeah.
And don't forget the retribution. How do I say that?
Let's not get into that yet. So then he says, well, so Anderson Cooper goes, well, how can you possibly know what you've got to fund if you don't know the cost? He goes, and then how are you going to do it? He goes, well, we're going to tax the rich. No, you're going to tax the rich to get the free health care. What? How many rich do you think we got, and who are we taxing?
And that's all based on today's economy.
Yeah.
And it's not a crime, Bern, to be rich.
And to make the money.
It's not a crime, and for all you young people out there to think that that might benefit you, look long term when you're 50 or so. They want to take it over. This country's capitalist, right? That's what it was built on.
Always.
Not socialism. The guy's out of his mind, and I don't know what the Democratic Party's going to do because these people are going bonkers on this. Although I'm wondering if there's machine gun nests behind the screaming crowds or something.
So the other thing about this guy is this is scary. Okay, Trump. We said it before, buffoon, can't speak English, goes off and calls people Pocahontas. It's ridiculous.
He's got to stop with the Mini Mike and Crooked Hillary and all that.
But he's not turning us into a socialist nation, and I do not want to be a socialist. Now, I would even say Joe Biden, who I think is going to drop over before the thing's over. He's so freaking old and decrepit. Joe Biden at least talks like a Democrat, not a socialist.
But he has no idea what he says to
But he's got something wrong with him. So the bottom line is we got real problems.
Is there anybody in this country
that can just,
whether it's Republican or Democratic or whatever, that you should be proud when your president talks, and not rebel rousing and name calling. Is there anybody? Will we ever see him?
I don't know if we'll see him in my lifetime, but
I don't know.
Anyway, we got to keep this guy out because I think guys like us who put in our 40 years of work and retired, I'm scared of this guy because he thinks everybody should just be, taxed out the wazoo. The other things, small businesses, today they get a break when they pass on their small business to their heirs.
Like, for example,
he wants to tax it.
We hand straight from hip off to our sons.
Right.
That will now be, they won't be able to do the show.
They can't do it. They'll have to be tax crazy.
That's right, and that's wrong.
So it's wrong. So we got to figure that one out. What else? What
I think we covered.
AOC do anything this week?
No, she's out of her mind.
Just completely nuts.
She got into a fight with Whoopi Goldberg, so I don't know what happened there.
Oh, but Whoopi, yeah.
Yeah, Whoopi.
I did want to say something. Well, I'm back to hockey.
Are you looking like at a monitor or something?
No, this is my timer, so we don't go over.
Right.
Because then the battery dies.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so I got to tell you this, though. So bear with me. Can you bear with me? No? Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm trying to find it. Don't pressure me.
Last time you said that, we were in a Turkish sauna, and that's another story.
Let's not get into that. Okay. NHL draft. We always talk about how the Sabres never get anybody unless they're a top 6 or 7 pick. Well, here are the statistics from the whole NHL. If you pick number 1 through 3, you have a near 1,000% chance of them being an NHL player for, I think they said 6 or 7 years. Okay? If you pick 4 and 5, okay, it's only a 73% chance. That's a big drop. Pick 6 to 11 is a 59%. Okay? Then it really drops. Pick 11 to 23, 39%. And then pick 23, 20%. And then after that, they say anybody after pick 23 runs anywhere between 2 and like 9%. That's the NHL. So as mad as I get at the Sabres about never finding anybody, I think the reality is that virtually no one does. Although it seems as though Pittsburgh, and you had a good thought on this, the Pittsburghs and the Bostons do find it. So why do you think that is?
Because they're better. When you have a better team and a successful team, it's easier to slot a player in. Casey Middlestat comes to point. They tried to force him into a team that wasn't that strong. Mm-hmm. You learn bad habits. Kind of like youth sports in our area, but that's another day's story. When you fit in with a bigger, stronger team, not necessarily bigger, but better, you can ease in better and there's less pressures on those guys. Plus there's better habits around you to look at. How you make it a tradition. We do this around here, we don't do that. Lacrosse, I'll bring up the Bandits real quick. They have a meeting every year and say, here's how we do it when you wear the orange and black. Though. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that happens with some of these other teams. Like it's almost like funny or something. But
or dare I say, a Boston or Pittsburgh could take a 5th round pick like a Gensel, and he can stay in the AHL for 3 years.
Right.
Until he's really ready. We got to get guys like, come on, you got to come. We need a line. We have no centers.
Right. Fly them right in there. Yeah. In other words, you're probably better off drafting from the hockey news.
Well put. Al and I have said that for years. So anyway, that's Uncle Al, the audio one. So we got to say our goodbye here.
Yeah. Remember, you keep bending over. You're going to have a real hard time straightening up, and believe me, the older you get, boy, is that true.
That's tough. And you lay around, you mess around.
Yeah, I never understood that.
Anyway, So we got a couple shows for you. Then I'm heading back down to Florida, but we're gonna not miss a lot of time. We'll do a show on a Monday before I leave and a Friday after I get back, because we know all 22 of our fans really are dying to see this.
Yeah, no recipes about some of the strange food.
Yeah.
The roadkill. I'm not into it.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Love you all. Take care.
How do you know you love them all? You
That's
don't know where they are.
There's 18 of them. I probably do
All
love them.
right.